Good evening, and welcome to the Department of Propaganda, your truth, or untruth, on all things brew. In keeping with the theme of pizza, today we have one of the most bizarre and yet most intriguing beers I've come across in quite some time. And I also believe this may well be my first from Brass Castle, so this should be quite the introduction. Although I won't be judging them too harshly on this one alone, as it definitely falls into the category of experimental. Brass Castle, like so many others, were inspired to brew from the US craft revolution. Although their introduction wasn't on the bitter West Coast, no, more on the smooth tropical East. Citing the Princetown Brewpub Triumph Brewing as one of their early inspirations, before returning to the equally tropical Yorkshire to begin work proper. And get to work they did, quickly accumulating award after award. As well as providing us with top-notch brews, Brass Castle also follow the path of social responsibility, including such things as sending their spent hops to local allotments to help improve the soil conditions, as well as sending their spent grain for anaerobic digestion, which is kinda for the environment. All the while ensuring each and every brew is vegan-friendly and gluten-free. So regardless of what I think of the beer, hopefully, by drinking it, I have reduced even my carbon footprint. Like I said, today's beer is definitely one of those experimental ones, as today we have, and I kid you not, a sun-dried tomato and sweet Basil Gose. And quite frankly, I don't know what to expect either. Failing anything else, the can art is definitely on point. I just can't believe I forgot to pick me up a pizza to go alongside it. Let's see what wonders, or even horrors, await us. Let's get pouring. So it's got a real tang in the nose. It's a little bit bready too. So the pizza vibe is there, straight off the bat. Now that is very tangy up front. Quite tart. It's got a citrus and smooth tomato with a herbal layer in behind. So yeah, up top, it's very, very sweet and very, very tangy. It's got a very sharp citrus, but it's offset by that bitter and savoury tomato. But like any good Gose, it is very, very refreshing and very, very easy drinking. And all of those very, very interesting flavours come together beautifully. You can tell it is made expertly. These are some very, very difficult notes they're bringing together, and they seam and gel beautifully. And now we're down into the beer sun. I'm getting these huge waves of citrus, really sweet lemongrass. And as that lemongrass fades on the tongue, it fills the mouth with this huge herbal aftertaste. It starts off with a huge tangy kick, equal parts citrus, equal parts tomato, with this sweet herbal finish. I didn't really know what to expect coming in here, and even so, I was still taken back. And even after that sharp tanginess had faded, that sweetness carried on throughout. And as those tart notes faded, lemongrass really started to take over. Albeit a very, very sweet lemongrass. And alongside it, that wild herb just kept growing and growing. And I have to say, it was a beautifully balanced beer, each of the promised notes all given their chance to shine. and attempting to give it some kind of rating isn't easy. Or maybe it is. Although it's not the kind of beer I'd want to session, that's not really the point of it. It's a wild beer for when you want something really, truly different. And for the traditionalist, it's likely to give you nightmares. But for me, it's definitely one of those one-of-a-kind beers. And I don't know about you, but those beers always get my attention. And I must say, for all that wildness, all that craziness, at its heart, it is very, very refreshing, very, very easy drinking, and you know what? It's almost a classic Gose. Just, with some very unclassic flavours.